God bless everybody. Today's lesson is called Are You a Victim of Food Chain Witchcraft? Are you a victim of food chain witchcraft? Today, I'm sounding the alarm on restaurants and food chains putting witchcraft spells and incantations over their food. So there's no way that I can list everyone that does this because, believe it or not, it is quite common. But I will give some chain examples as well as things to look for in your own restaurant habits. One chain that I do want to speak about first is Starbucks. I know it isn't a food chain, but it is definitely affiliated with witchcraft. There's so many things that I can say about this chain, but for the sake of time, I will shorten it. And if you are a fan and still decide to go after knowing this dark truth, you can't say that you didn't know. So, first, like many things in the world, the logo itself is demonic. It is actually a siren slash mermaid from the marine kingdom. So, we know from this statement that it's a cursed logo. Therefore, anything with a logo on it is a cursed object. And scripture says that if you bring a cursed object into your home, you and your home are cursed. And we see that in Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 26. This is also true of your person as well as your car, not just your home. I got into one of my clients' van a couple years ago, and we were going to pray and noticed that she had Starbucks cups in her cup holder. I had recently taught this in a group that she was in of mine at that time. I reminded her of it, and she stated that she blessed it and covered it in the blood. So I picked it up to dump it out of the van, and as soon as I lifted it, I started having a physical reaction. It was almost double of what I had felt before when God was first giving me a new level of discerning of spirits gift over cursed objects. I was able to, thankfully, able to pitch it out of the window, which stopped the reaction. I initially wanted to take it out and walk it to the garbage can, but in that situation, I had to pitch it. This level was all new to me, so I hadn't yet learned how to control it. Long story short, I went into immediate prayer. She could also see and hear in the spirit, so I called the Lord down to speak to her himself. He chastised her, and then she still had excuses saying that she covered it in the blood. He then said, You cannot cover your sin in my blood. It went from just a normal curse from before she knew the truth to outright sin. Does that make sense? She needed deliverance for the curse, idolatry, as well as now she added to it sin, disobedience, and rebellion. So, going past this cursed object and anything bearing their logo, they also put spells, incantations, and other demonic things on their actual product as well. Depending on the person, you can crave their coffee all hours of the day. I've even seen people that go to Starbucks multiple times a day. They need it. It's like they can't live without it. And it doesn't have this effect on everyone, okay? It's case by case. And even others whose morning mood is affected until they get a Starbucks coffee. This is also regarding the church. I used to go to a church that even the pastor always had a Starbucks drink in his hand. He didn't want to hear about its curse or anything relating to the truth. I brought it up and he made a joke about it, so I left it alone. Okay, so that's enough on Starbucks. Let's move on, as Starbucks is not anywhere near being the only establishment doing this. For your information, every franchise is owned by the true rulers of the world, okay? And it is not the presidents of the nations. So, with this in mind, I'm going to bypass them as you can kind of figure out on your own by this statement that we all have been affected by witchcraft to some degree. We've all visited some type of franchise establishment. But sadly, some of the small moms and pops restaurants are doing it as well. One of the reasons is to keep people coming back. And this goes for the franchises as well. But there are other reasons also, depending upon where you go. It's kind of like why lonely witches put love spells on people to get them to fall in love with them. They need to manipulate people, but behind the scenes. They won't even realize that their decisions are being manipulated. It will feel like your own craving, your own desire, your own want, your own taste buds. It's the background of witchcraft to manipulate, control, intimidate, and dominate others by putting witchcraft and spells and assorted incantations on them for their own selfish purposes. Another reason witchcraft is done at many establishments is because they are owned or even operated by witches. And they're not all wearing black, saints of God. They're not all of their fingernails are not painted black, wearing black lipstick and having spell books in their cars and their houses. No. Some groom themselves and look just like me and you. Now, in this situation, they are actively putting witchcraft on people in order to demonize them and control the masses. Just be aware of it all. They have assignments on all of mankind. They don't have to know you. There are witches that have infiltrated every occupation, every business, every church, every profession, and on and on and on. If you don't have a relationship with the real Jesus and not this counterfeit antichrist version that accepts everything and anything, you need to get one ASAP. Paul talks about this other Jesus. Did you know there is another one? Go read 2 Corinthians 11, verse 4. And if you do have the real Jesus, but don't have the gift of discerning of spirits, please pray for that gift. It's his will that his people are aware when a witch is in the room. It's a protection gift on so many levels. As far as people who are doing it at friend and family picnics and barbecues, this happens more than you even know. I had a client that a mutual friend between her and her boyfriend had a barbecue, actually, fiance, had a barbecue cookout, and the friend made the guy's plate. Next thing, the woman comes to me a while later in need of deliverance. It was revealed in her session that witchcraft was there. And I asked the Lord, how? He revealed to us what happened with the boyfriend and what happened with the girl's friend. She said she always suspected them of cheating with each other, but he would always deny it. And it led to many arguments, etc. But long story short, they were involved in a sexual relationship, and her fiance were engaged to be married. So he couldn't help it. It was a spell that she put on his food, and he ate it and was totally spelled out. I'm bringing this up to show that we must pray over everything and take the time to saturate our food in the blood. But first, acknowledge the Lord and ask permission to go eat at certain places or at certain tables. I'm talking about friends, family members. There's family members. I have clients coming to me that have family members and they don't even know they're operating in witchcraft, sending witchcraft against them until they come to deliverance, and I can see it in the spirit. And sometimes I question, okay, how is this possible? This is my cousin. This is my aunt. This is my grandmother. This is my brother. And then we go into prayer, and I ask for a word of knowledge to disclose these things. And he says jealousy, envy, which is sometimes taking place behind the scenes. It could be multiple reasons: payback, revenge. A personal testimony for me is my daughter went to Safeway and bought some raw chicken thighs and surprised me one day, just last year, with a home cooked meal that she just did randomly. I prayed before I ate as usual, blessed the food, but unfortunately, even in doing this, once something is contaminated with witchcraft, you can minimize its effects with the prayer, but it still may affect you. Now, this is no means to say that Safeway is actively putting curses on their groceries, on their meat, or anything else. But I will reveal at the end of this testimony what the Lord showed me that actually happened. So she gave me a beautiful and tasty dinner. She cooks really well. I enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It had no spoiled taste or anything, as it wasn't. The meat wasn't bad. It wasn't spoiled. That night, in the middle of the night, something went wrong. I had the worst pain in my stomach ever. I was throwing up on both ends for just about 3 days. Finally, and I'm a baby. I'm a baby when it comes to being sick. I don't get sick often. So when I do, I know it's spiritual, but I'm a baby when it comes to any type of pain, especially even throwing up. Nausea, no, I will cry. I'm a baby, okay, when it comes to pain. So on the third day, I called with the little energy that I had, I called my prayer partner at the time, as I knew it was spiritual at that point. I needed intercession and I needed it immediately. He is also a seer as well. So we go into prayer as I was still sick, and the Lord showed us that the meat itself was cursed. It had nothing to do with Safeway. He said that it was done through the butcher. He said some of the butchers themselves are psychopaths and they curse the meat and do rituals, etc., before it even reaches the stores. Come on, somebody, my mouth dropped. I was in shock, which doesn't have to happen often, okay? Because I've seen a lot and I've heard a lot what goes on in the spiritual realm. I know a lot. I just never heard anything about this. I then asked the Lord if everyone who bought that meat at Safeway got sick because my daughter didn't. I was confused. I'm the one that's prayed up. I'm the one that has a relationship. I'm the one going and living a spiritual life every single day. And I got sick and it didn't even affect her whatsoever. The Lord replied and said, no, not everyone got sick. And then I said, well, why me? Remember, I hate being sick. I was miserable. He said that I was sensitive in the spirit as well as my stomach was sensitive as well. Is the answer to all becoming vegetarians? No, because even with that, there are poisons behind it as well. First off, since the ground was cursed at the fall, Satan now has the legal right to put GMO in foods as well as flood the skies with poisonous chemtrails. This is not only poisoning all of humanity, but it's also poisoning the crops and the vegetation. Regarding the chemtrails, people of God, fall on your knees and pray that the Lord keep you preserved and in spiritual exemption from their effects. I did this years ago. I did this years ago. And the Lord told me in prayer one day that it would not hurt my children. It would not hurt my grandchildren, nor myself. So go into prayer in great faith and in great expectation. As long as you are meeting the Lord's conditions and requirements of leading a righteous life, your benefit package is amazing and it's definitely supernatural. Okay? So these are just some of the things that we're up against while living in the matrix. One day I asked the Lord if we could unplug totally from it. Totally. Okay, not just unplug and it, is temporary for that day. I asked him, could we totally unplug from it? He said, you can unplug from it as he had me do one morning when he woke me up at 3 o'clock. But you will never be totally and completely free of it. I cried out, why? I don't understand. And mind you, I was frustrated. I was sick. I had no energy. I had been throwing up for 3 days, nausea for 3 days. His answer was, because you still live in it, daughter. You still live in the matrix. But through prayer, through fasting, and living a holy and righteous life, you can minimize its effects on you. Wow. Come on, somebody. We have an amazing benefit package. Same thing goes for the cursed food, whether you're shopping at a grocery store or eating or drinking at a well-known franchise or even a small moms and pops shop. Stay in relationship. Keep acknowledging the Lord and asking permission for even things you consider are small. Like, can I go to Chili's? Can I go to Applebee's? Can I go to Red Lobster? Can I go to Starbucks? Can I go to Jamba Juice? Can I go? Can I? Can I? Can I? We all know that we can. We can go anywhere we want. But does that mean that you're in God's will if you do without acknowledging him? Stay prayed up. Stay fasted up. Fast without any thoughts or desires of gain except to escape the things that are here, and pray that you escape the things to come. Jesus said in Luke 21, verse 36, watch therefore and pray always that you may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass and to stand before the Son of Man. He's talking to the church. He wasn't talking to the world. The world ain't praying. The world ain't watching. He was speaking of the things coming in the end times. So he's basically saying, you're not exempt. You're not exempt. So you can pray for exemption. Come on, somebody. Can we go deep? Because the pulpits, the majority of the pulpits are teaching we're safe. Nothing can hurt us. Nothing can harm us. We're waiting for this rapture. That's it. I'm teaching practical ways of being exempt, biblical and practical. You can't fight the words of Jesus Christ. That's Luke chapter 21, verse 36. I hope this quick video opens your eyes to what is going on in the world as far as the manipulation of people's wills, even in the food industry. Let's unite in prayer, brothers and sisters. Let's unite in fasting and relationship with the only one that can save us in all of what the God, the small g God, the temporary God of this world is doing to each one of us. In Jesus' name, God bless.